All right, we are live. I'm just going to give it a couple seconds, see if anyone's able to join us on here live today. And as always, my love, say hello as you hop on if you're catching this live or the replay, so we can connect and I can see who's in my world and get to know you. So today, what's coming through is talking about releasing attachments in the physical. Hello to whoever's hopping on. Say hello so I can see your beautiful face. So this is something that we talk about a lot, right? When we're talking about energetics, when we're talking about manifestation, when we're talking about raising our vibration, expanding our consciousness, expanding our capacity to receive all of these things. But it's something that the ego really struggles with, the mind really struggles with. And there's no shame around that. I just want to say that, get that out of the way first. There is no shame here, okay? We are very programmed to be very outwardly focused the moment we're born onto the planet, okay? And we're here to have a human experience, and the physical things and the results and all of the things we want are very good and natural, and we're here to experience that. But where it starts to be a problem is when we start to become essentially a slave to the results, a slave to the physical, a slave to what's already manifested. And that creates this restriction in our energy. So we're not actually able to expand in order to receive the results we do want. So I want to share with you the message that came through specifically, and then I really had fun the last time I was on here doing the clearing session. So I have some cards, we're going to do some more clearing, all the things. But actually I'm feeling like let's just set an intention to ground really quickly before we even start the transmission. Okay, so I'm going to light the sage here. Let me grab my candle this time. So if you're somewhere where you can get comfortable, just do that. And it's funny how early it is. That's part of like what I'm going to talk about, releasing the concept of time and attachment to the 3D and all these man-made constructs. And I have a little story about how that happened for me today. And I'm actually running early, like I created more time. So we'll talk about that. So just, I'm giving you some sage here. Just sit, ground, lay down if you want. Just open your mind and your heart to receive these messages. If you have an intention for what you would like to receive today, you can set that, okay? Part of my medicine is my voice. I'm a channel and I activate and I heal with my words. So you can set the intention to receive whatever messages and healing and activation that you are desiring, because you get to receive what you desire, my loves. So just take a couple deep breaths, root in, really ground in, allow yourself to be present here in your body. Perhaps setting that intention. Okay, and I'm just going to share with you what came through. So we're talking about releasing attachment to time, to these man-made constructs, to numbers, to results, all the things. And this is something that's so hard for us to do, because in order to do that, we have to bypass logic. This is why I teach so much about being in your body. This is why I teach about being in your heart space, really releasing the mind and really getting into the feeling, because this is how you do it. This is the embodiment piece, and this is a huge part of the work I do. So actually, before I get into the details, let me share with you my little story. And this is kind of how I do this, how I break it down and just make sure I'm living this way all the time. This is how I embody it. So last night I wanted to stay up late for whatever. I typically go to bed kind of early. For whatever reason, I was not tired. And I had this old story going on in my head, which like many of us have. I've been good about working through it, but it's still there, like, oh, you should go to bed, you're not going to get enough sleep, you're not going to be productive. And I just said to myself, I was like, I'm a projector, so I love my sleep, by the way. And I was like, I'm not tired, I'm not going to go to bed because I don't want to. And I give myself full permission to sleep in as late as I want tomorrow, and I'm not going to judge myself for it. So I've pretty much gotten away from setting an alarm, needing to have a rigid time I wake up, because that's what works for me. And I find that actually as I release the rules I had around that, I actually naturally wake up at an earlier time and have more energy and create more space. So Today is a wonderful example of that. I went to bed kind of late. I naturally woke up early, and then I'm like, ooh, I'm already ready for the day. I've done my things. I've done my alignment work, and I really felt called to come online. So I'm going to go online and click this live. And I'm like, holy crap, it's only 9:30 in California. If you're somewhere else, it's later. And I was like, that's really crazy, because normally the earliest I get online is maybe like 11 or after. So it was just really interesting to see how when I gave myself permission to maybe start my day later or sleep in late or maybe not even go live at all, like all of a sudden that me just taking the pressure off, me detaching from that, created a lot of time and space, because it did not feel like 9:30. It felt like it was like closer to noon, because I've just had all this time to do things this morning. So time is a construct, is a man-made construct, and it's one of the rules, one of the agreements we live by here in the 3D realm that allows us to operate and have this human experience. But the thing is, it's something we created to serve us, and it's the same thing with money too, which we can dive into that deeper on another day. But you know, we give our power away to these outside things, not realizing that we're the ones who created it. We created it in order to allow ourselves to have an experience. So it's just about slowing down and becoming more mindful of where are you giving your power away to these constructs, these man-made constructs, not realizing that you as an infinite being, as the one who's generating it all, holds the power. You have the power to bend and manipulate time and energy. You came here to be a creator. So when we can detach, hello, Kristen, welcome, beautiful. Anyone else hopping on, say hello so I can see who's here with me. I see a few of you in here. So when we're starting to feel really stressed and anxious, that's typically a good sign that you're giving your power. Well, it is. You're giving your power away. And today what I want to talk about is more like really releasing our attachment to the things because we give our power away when we're attached to the outer. Okay, so this is about detaching from the outer and remembering who you are, stepping more into your sovereignty, stepping more into your power, reclaiming it, and looking at how can I make these things work for me. And I'm going to lead you through an embodiment practice after this to help you really solidify it, because I know a lot of people can understand this conceptually, but it's another thing to feel it in your body and let yourself really recode that. Hello, Ina. Kristen says, I just started following you a bit ago and just wanted to say hi. I love your content. Oh, beautiful. Welcome. Well, I'm so happy to have you here, and I'm glad to have you in my world. Thank you. So the things that were coming up specifically, like as I was getting this, the things that we're being asked to detach from are money, numbers of clients specifically. So I would love to know who tuning in has a spiritually based business and struggles with that. Time. And then like the numbers of likes and views and subscribers and all of that, kind of like the validation. Now I know these are can be really hard things to detach from. But we need to understand that we're infinitely more powerful than any of that. So I want you to really be mindful as you go through your day, and maybe carry this throughout the rest of the week, of where do you feel yourself feeling anxiety as it pertains specifically to these things, these 4 areas. And if anything else comes through for you, pay attention to that too, right? Maybe there's something else you're really attached to. Maybe it's in your relationships or something, right? Like, where are you attached to these physical things? Because just a reminder, you're generating all of it. You are the source. So anything in the outer is just a reflection of you. But you can change that. So it's not, you know, where are we making it mean something about us? Where are you making the numbers mean something? Where are you making time mean something? Because as soon as you're starting to feel triggered, you get to rewrite that story. So a good analogy that's just coming through is like you're the source, and then what's going on external is like the mirror, so the reflection, right? So imagine if you're holding a mirror and you're frowning, and you look in the mirror and you're like, ooh, I don't like that reflection. Would you get mad and start punching the mirror? No, you would just change what you're expressing. So wherever we're seeing something in the outer that we don't like, we're able to take that as feedback. Like, oh, okay, let's do something new, and take your power back and change your expression. But what happens is when we get really caught up in staring at the physical, staring at the reflection, staring at our perception of time, like how long something's taking, or money, what's in the bank account, or how many clients do we have, or all of these things, we actually just keep generating more of that. We're playing in that energy more, and we're totally getting lost in that illusion, in that reflection, totally forgetting who we are. You have the power to shift right out of that, okay? So I wanted to use an example with dating, because just to kind of show all these rules that we have, and kind of give you, this will kind of bridge into the healing, clearing we're going to do. So I want to try to help you release any rigidity around these rules we have around how long something should be taking, how much money should be there, how many clients should be in each container, how much engagement you should be having, whatever, right? So with dating, because relationships for some reason is easier for us to understand than with money, I find. So you've probably heard some of these rules of you should wait 3 months to be intimate or whatever, right? When we, and that's great to kind of have a guideline of what are your standards, right? Are you just going to hop into bed with someone or no, right? High value women, likely not, but maybe, it's very personal. So we have all these rules, right? Of what it means to be a good girl, what it means to be the partner who's chosen, someone who's chosen to be a partner. We have these rules just in the same way in our business of what does it mean to be successful? And we attach all of this meaning to it. And there's nothing wrong with looking at past experiences, past decisions, and gathering some information, some data, and making an educated decision of, oh, okay, I'm not liking this reflection. Maybe I'll change what I'm expressing so I can experience something new. That's good. That's in your power. But where we can give our power away is where we're really attached to a rule, and we're so focused on that instead of being present and feeling. Because here's the thing, you're creating your future based off of your now. And when we are too focused on something that happened in the past, or too focused on trying to make something happen in the future, we are not present. And when you are present in the now is where all of your power is, but also it's where all the pleasure can be found, all the enjoyment of life. So let's use this example really quickly, right? If you are so focused on let's say you meet this person, you're really into them, things are really flowing, and you're so focused on counting down the days because you're then I can be intimate with this person, right? You are missing everything in between. You're missing the entire experience of that relationship, right? In a relationship, there's different phases. Let's say you meet this person and this person is the person you end up spending the rest of your life with. Do you want to miss that whole beautiful unfolding of that love relationship of ooh, the excitement of just getting to know each other, and maybe a little bit of that tension built up, and then ooh, now we're committed, now we're moving into this, now we're dating, now maybe engaged down the road, there's an unfolding, right? But when we're so focused on the end goal, when we're so focused on these rules, we miss it, right? So here's the thing too, we need to leave room for our intuition and our own personal truth to come through. So, this 3-month rule, this is just what popped in. I don't know why it popped in, but it did. That we can build up a lot of judgment around that, right? Let's say you end up getting intimate with this person before 3 months. You can make up a whole ton of stories of why you're a slut and they're not going to want to commit to you and all of these things, right? You could do that, or you could be oh, I waited 3 months and now this is going to be the one, and then it doesn't work out. And then, we can create all these crazy things because of some rule that someone told us. Whereas if you would allow yourself to be fully present in that and sit in the not knowing of I have no idea when this is going to happen. I don't know if next week I'm going to realize this is someone I don't like. Oh, this could be the person I spend the rest of my life with. Be in that excitement of that not knowing, instead of needing to put these time frames on it and try to figure it out and try to plan it and attaching all the meanings to all of these things, right? If you could just release all of that, you would allow yourself to, one, receive all the beauty and the love and the excitement and the fun and the juiciness of that unfolding. And you also would be really in touch with your truth and your intuition, and you'll trust yourself to know what feels good and what doesn't feel good to you. And we can't do that if we're really caught up in this concept of time or these rules or what it means about us or what we need to try to make happen. Does this make sense? So we really limit ourselves when we get really caught up on these things, when we get really too outwardly focused, and we have all these rules and these expectations and all these meanings attached. And really the reason I find why we do this is because we're not trusting ourselves. We're not trusting life. We're trying to prevent something from happening again. We're trying to make sure something does happen in a certain way, and we cut out all the enjoyment. We block ourselves from being present, and that also blocks your intuition. So if you could just trust yourself a little more, where in your life could you let go of some of these attachments? So specifically, again, the ones that came through were money, numbers of clients, your concept of time, perhaps how long something's taking, or how long you need to be in something to prove something and then you can move forward, right? Like, where do you have attachments to time? And also, what was the other one? Oh, like numbers on engagement. These were like the specific ones that were coming up. But again, like, feel into this, how this is speaking to you, because it might be some in a different area of your life, right? It could be with like food and calories and working out and your body and love, or all of these things, right? It could be anything. So really tapping into that. So to kind of tie this all together, we want to give ourselves permission to be really present, permission to be right where we are, permission to experience whatever we are experiencing without needing to compare it to something from the past, without needing to try to manipulate it into being something that we think it needs to be in the future. When we allow ourselves to be really present, we create so much expansion, right? So just like today, I was sharing how I had literally zero attachment to time. I didn't even notice what time it was until I went to go online. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 9:30. That's early. Like, not that that really matters or means anything, but I was just surprised with how I had literally, for myself, expanded time. Now, one could argue that, 9:30 is 9:30, sure. But the way I experienced it was that I had a lot of spaciousness, right? So the more we can detach from these things, from all the ways we want to measure and control and compare, we create expansion within ourselves and our own experience. And that is also going to allow it's going to allow more of your intuition to come through, so you'll know your next steps, right? This new paradigm is not about playing by the rules. This is not about, let me have a 5-step process. It's not about that. It's about what is your truth and trusting yourself enough to lead yourself through that. Hello, Joanna, welcome. All right, so that's the transmission of what wanted to come through. I would like to pull a couple cards and then do an embodiment process for you, okay? So let's just pull the cards. I want to see what comes up. I have some angel cards and then I have some chakra cards. I was feeling called towards those. So the chakras are always really good. It'll kind of let us know maybe where you will help you know how you can embody this a little bit more. If this is resonating, I would love to know, like, where you, if you feel comfortable sharing, where are you feeling yourself clinging to some of these concepts that we talked about? Like, where can you soften a little bit? Where can you allow yourself to release that attachment and experience more expansion? Where can you trust yourself a little more? And like I said earlier, wherever you're feeling a lot of anxiety is always a good place to start. That's when we're feeling anxious, when we're feeling constricted, it's a sign that we're not in alignment with our truth on that subject. So it's always an opportunity for you to see where you can soften. And it doesn't mean that you need to completely not be triggered by like your bank account balance or how many clients you have or any of that, right? But you get to soften a little bit more. So just each time you think about it, instead of being like, that doesn't feel good, let me not think about it, like, give yourself full permission to be right where you are and be like, okay, my human is experiencing this in this way. I'm feeling tight and constricted around this. I'm feeling like I'm behind, or like I'm not measuring up, or whatever it is, or like I don't have enough time, whatever it is. And then just allow yourself to soften. Just allow yourself to be in your body, allow yourself to breathe and be like, I get to create more spaciousness in this. And it always starts in your body first, right? So it's like trying to solve an issue that's born out of overthinking, that's born out of these constructs of the mind. We can't solve it through the mind. I'm all for mindset. It's a big part of the work I do. Like, we need to heal holistically. But if we're trying to start with the mind, like, I don't find that to be effective at all. Like, we really get to just soften our body and breathe. And I'm going to lead you through some of that. These are feeling ready. Let me pull one of these chakra cards, see what wants to come out. We got two. Of course, I'm wearing red, and we got So the renewal came out upside down. So many of you, it's like an imbalance in your root chakra, and then we have confusion. So this is actually your crown chakra. So what I'm getting right off the bat here, so let's see this one. Okay, do you see how she's got the gray up here? So, and this is very like Empress vibes for me. Like, she's really rooted in who she is. She really is connected to her higher self, to that infinite intelligence. She's really strong in her connection to spirit and her connection to the earth, right? This is necessary for manifestation. If we're too up in our upper chakras, we're not going to manifest things out into the physical, right? Like, we need to be grounded. And she trusts, like, her eyes are closed. She trusts. She's having this inner experience while being firmly rooted in the earth realm, right? This in the reverse shows that whoever's tuning into this, you're feeling unrooted. You're not feeling grounded. You're not feeling like safe in the earth plane. And because of that, it's causing a lot of confusion. It's obstructing your connection to source, to your higher self. And so the message here is that, so they showed up like this: as you flip this, as you get more grounded, the confusion will dissipate, okay? So just allowing yourself to be in your body, and that's perfect because that's what we're going to do after this. I'm just going to pull one from these angel cards and see what else wants to come up. And guys, always let me know how it resonates. I always love hearing your experiences because we're all going through our own things, right? We're all having our own journey, but there are these themes that come up, and when I get the downloads, I love to share it with you and also just open up this space to see what else wants to come through. Okay. These ones are really hard to shuffle. They're big. Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay. So we have the Star upright, and then Awakening came out reversed. So okay, guys. Awakening says, look at things from a different perspective, a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself. Okay, so I put these cards away. Do I still have them? Yes, I do. Okay. They came out like this: confusion and not being grounded. So when we're really rooted, when we're really grounded, this is a byproduct of us being really giving ourselves permission to be right where we are. Radical self-love and acceptance. Oh, I'm so glad this is resonating, Joanna and Charlotte. Thanks for letting me know. When we give ourselves permission to be all of us, and this also, a big part of this is owning what you desire, okay? And I have a mastermind all about this, so I can share that at the end too. Owning what you desire, really allowing yourself to be like, I desire to have this experience, and giving yourself permission to do it, and really owning, like, who are you? Really taking up space, really being present. That will help you really gain a new perspective, like help you shift out of this confusion, okay? So temporary standstill, it's important to be yourself. So where can you be more of you? Where can you give yourself more permission to write your own rules, or just throw out the rule book completely? I'm all for that. My rule is like, I check in with myself and what do I need in this moment? And I live in a state of flow like that. Because, you know, you can say, oh, screw society's rules. And then we start making our own rules, and then we hold ourselves to this standard that doesn't really allow room for growth. So where can you root more into who you are, who you desire to be, what you desire to experience? Hello, Annabella, welcome. And allow that to bring you clarity, okay? Because as you root in, as you feel safe in your body, as you really just be honest with yourself about where you're at and where you desire to be, then you open up to receive the messages through that crown chakra from spirit about your next steps forward, okay? So, and this was in the reverse. So it's like you're stuck in your head, you're only seeing it one way, and maybe you're not being yourself. You're not giving yourself permission to be yourself. So this is just a gentle invitation to flip that energy, give yourself permission to see things differently, and this is just what we're talking about, releasing the attachments, releasing the rules, right? Like, give yourself permission to break whatever rules you need to break, and really give yourself permission to be yourself. And if this is something where you're like, well, I'm not sure who I am, this is an awesome awesome time for you to explore who you are. You know, sometimes we hold ourselves to an old, outdated way of being because that's all we've known ourselves to be. And that can work up until a certain point, but when you start to feel this, what's the word? Like, I want to say contrast, but that's not it. Someone can think of the word, let me know, but you get what I'm saying. This uncomfortable energy. It's like our soul is desiring to expand and move into new. And so that confusion will dissipate. The constriction will dissipate as we just give ourselves permission to grow and evolve. So maybe get curious. Okay, I'm feeling like I'm feeling a lot of resistance. I think that's the word I was looking for. I'm feeling a lot of resistance. Am I holding myself to the standard of how I've always done things in my relationships, with my money, in my business, whatever, like your schedule, all of the things? Am I perhaps desiring to experience something new and being curious and getting to know this new version of you that wants to be birthed through? Life becomes really magical when we allow for that, because you are an infinite being and you are here to experience it all. Joanna, yes, the contrast, the resistance is a catalyst. Exactly. I've talked about this, I think, the other day. You know, our resistance is like the portal to your next level. Like, it's the emotions, the triggers are portals if you allow them to be. But when we just stuff it down, we just create a lot of resistance for ourselves. So it's like, if you can lean into the discomfort and get curious and release the judgments about it, and just see, like, what does it want to tell you? Like, maybe there is an area of your life where you would benefit from a little more structure, a little bit more loving self-discipline, right? Or maybe you need to give yourself permission to create a new routine, or maybe you're desiring to increase your income and you don't see a way, and just opening up to that, being okay, like rooting in the desire of, I desire more. I don't know how it's going to come in, but I'm going to sit with this desire and trust that as I really fully own it and root into that and allow myself to feel it in my body, that then I'll get the downloads and the next steps forward. But we can't receive that if we don't like own it and allow ourselves to feel it first. Okay, so the star is all about that, like allowing yourself to shine, allowing yourself to want more. It says, happy times, make positive, optimistic, long-term plans, on the right path. I don't know if today I'm necessarily resonating with this description. So the way I see the star is, it's Aquarius, the water bearer. This is my rising sign, by the way, so this is very much like what I'm supposed to help bring into the world. This is a big part of the work I do. She has 1 foot on the earth and one foot in the water, and so it's like she's pouring the water out of the cups into, if you know tarot, right? So it's for me, let me just make this simple. It's like being the alchemist, being really fully rooted in the earth, using your emotions as the catalyst to help alchemize and bring heaven down to earth. Like you say, like shoot for the stars, right? Or shoot for the stars. Allow yourself to go bigger. Where are you dimming your light to fit in? Where are you not fully owning your desires because you don't see a way, or because you're attached to how things look? Okay, so this feels like a really good segment into the embodiment piece, so you can just get comfortable. I'm going to get a little more sage here again. And my intention with this right now is that we're going to give ourselves permission to let go of, at least just for this moment together. If you can hold it longer, wonderful. But just giving yourself permission to release what's not serving you, to release our ideas of how things need to go, releasing any resistance around these man-made constructs of time, of money, of numbers, and what that means about us or business, or fill in the blank for you. Like really just for a moment allowing ourselves to release that and perhaps sit in the unknown. Because the reason we cling to these things is because we're afraid of the unknown. We cling to these rules, we cling to these standards, we cling to these outer things because we're afraid of the unknown. And the reason we're afraid of the unknown typically is because we're not trusting ourselves. We're not trusting that the guidance will be there. We're not trusting that we will know how to lead ourselves through it. So the invitation here is to just release all of that and be okay just sitting in it. So just tune into your body, my loves. Close your eyes. Just if you need to do some movements, just really releasing all of that, releasing whatever attachments you have. And just inviting yourself to be fully present in this moment. And I'm really feeling brought back to that star card. So it's like, what's that dream that just feels out of reach? What's that thing that just feels like you cannot see a way, or you think that is going to take a long time, or you think that you need different numbers in order to achieve that? Like, I invite you to just pull in the pure desire without the attachments, without the rules, without the how, okay? So releasing the how. Just sit with the pure desire. And you may find that your mind is fighting you on this, and that's okay. Just keep coming back to just the pure desire, whatever that is for you. Like fully giving yourself permission to feel the desire in your body. Because my love, the way we manifest is we need to allow ourselves to receive it energetically first. Energetically meaning the feeling. And when we allow ourselves to pull that into our bodies, we are like literally pulling it down from the ethers, because guess what? Manifestation happens through you. You birth it through you in the physical. You are the vessel. So if we keep our desires as this conceptual thing and we never give ourselves permission to pull it down through our body, how can we birth it? We can't. This is a big part of the work I do. I'm so passionate about this. So I'm inviting you right now to just breathe out the resistance. Release the rules. Release the ways you measure and control and compare. Release all the attachments. Release all the meanings you've assigned to the attachments, and allowing yourself to just be here in this infinite now moment. Sitting in the quantum field of possibilities, sitting with your infinite nature, understanding that these things, the money, time, all of these constructs, we've created to serve us, to allow us to have a physical experience. But if you are not liking how this is making you feel, if time and money and all these things are starting to make you feel constricted, it's a sign that you are needing to come back into your seat of power and rearrange it. And we don't rearrange it by trying to rearrange it in the physical. We rearrange it by coming within and rearranging our energy around it. And sometimes the most effective way to do that is to just release the attachment completely. And then from that space, connecting to the desire. What is it you're desiring to experience more of? And releasing the mind's tendency and urge to want to then latch onto, oh, well, this would need to happen in this sequence, or in this amount of time would need to lapse, or whatever. Like, don't go there. Just sit with the pure desire. Landing deeply back in the knowing, because you already know this, even if you've forgotten. You know that you're an infinite being. You know that there are infinite ways this could play out. And just opening up and giving yourself permission to allow this to be expressed in the most natural, easy way possible, because it gets to be. When we release logic, when we release our attachments, it becomes so effortless. So really just playing with that pure desire. If you want to move around, we were talking about the root chakra today, so maybe really getting that energy going, really grounding into what does just that pure desire feel like in your body. Like, allow yourself to feel the excitement, feel it rooted into you. Like, how would it feel if you were already on the other side, if you've already achieved this, and if there was nothing more you really needed to do? Like, let's just for now allow yourself to sit in the feeling of that already being manifested. Like, how do you feel? Do you feel calm and certain and grounded, and also like excited and proud and happy? Like, what do you feel? Allow this to be a full body sensory experience. Allow yourself to fully go there. Really honoring and acknowledging that you're an infinite being, you are the source, and you are the vessel through which this will be made manifest. And I'm just going to allow a little light language to come through to help dissolve any remaining attachments or any ways the mind is trying to attach and create these restrictions, okay? So you can just keep your eyes closed and set the intention to receive this if you would like to, okay? Hey, and okay, the energy coming through is really playful. They're like, lighten up. It gets to be fun. Release the mind. Release the mind. Allow it to be fun. Some of you need more play. Sitting in that divine, pure frequency of unconditional love. You know, when we allow ourselves to sit with our pure desires, that is the frequency of unconditional love. No conditions, no attachments, no how, no logic. All right, you can come back into your body if that feels good, or you can sit in that energy a little more if that feels good for you. I would love to hear how was that for you. And if you want to share in the comments below, if not, write it down for yourself. Like, what are you allowing yourself to claim? Like, what is that pure desire that you are allowing yourself to claim and anchor in and ground and root into your body and allow yourself to feel? What is it? Because that's the first step. Really claiming it, like not keeping it as this conceptual thing out there, like pulling it into your body, pulling it into the now moment. You are the vessel, you are the channel, and you are the source. This feels so good. I'm all tingly. Like, I love this work. It lights me up so much. Guys, this is a huge part of the work that I'm going to be leading the women through in this next round of Desire Queen. This is my mastermind. I am leading it live. It is 2 calls per week for 6 weeks where we dive really deep. And this energetic is just one part of it, right? I really work in a holistic way. So there is the magical, energetic healing side of this, but it's a lot of also of like facing the internal stuff, like really doing the internal alchemy, like what are these limiting beliefs? And one of my gifts is I'm able to see very deeply. I'm able to help you see what maybe you haven't been seeing. So yes, I hold the space for you to do your own healing, but I also can help you see where you've been holding yourself back. So this is all, you can't wait to watch back from the beginning. Awesome. Yeah, catch the beginning. This was a good session. So I lead you through all of this. This is for you if you are desiring to access more of your power, if you are looking to deepen your impact in your work, if you are desiring to trust yourself more, to really strengthen your connection to spirit, to your higher self, to your intuition, if you are someone who's like so done playing by the rules, if you're feeling like you need to break through and you haven't been able to yet, this would be an awesome mastermind for you. Conversely, it would be a wonderful space for you too if you have achieved a lot and you're like, that next level, you feel like there's the glass ceiling and you understand that like for you, your next level is going to be more energetic work. This would be wonderful for you too. This is where I really help you shift your paradigm. This is where we go deep. I love to go deep. Like, this is so natural for me to swim in the depths of the emotion. And I know a lot of people have a hard time with it. And so one of the ways I really love to support women is to help you feel safe, to go access more deeply into yourself, to go deep, to see, bring the light down to the shadow, what needs to be seen, what needs to be witnessed, what needs to be healed, what needs to be transmuted. And also looking down there, like, where's the gold that you haven't reached yet? Or if you've reached gold, like, where's your next layer of gold? Because you are pure gold, my love. You are divine. You are infinite. You can access whatever you desire. And then helping you really embody that, integrate it. And we don't want to stay just down there, right? We don't want to just stay in the shadow. We want to like bring the light down, see it, integrate it, heal it, bring it back up, and really be present here. And we want to connect to our higher self and the, the cosmos, the infinite intelligence, but we don't want to just be up there. We want to bring it back here because you want to manifest in the physical. And this is how you do it, like the full spectrum. So Desire Queen is a really beautiful, life-changing experience. It's 6 weeks. I keep the group small and intimate because, I mean, this is deep work. And I know I don't like it to be too big, one for the women, but also for me, because I really want to facilitate, like I want these 6 weeks to be truly life-changing for you. So my loves, you can read more about it. It is linked in my bio. There's like a little kind of a sales page. I don't really do things the way we're supposed to do, right? But there's a little bit more information about it if you want. And of course, just reach out to me. I'm happy to connect with you and answer any questions. Typically women, like, they know if they want to work with me or not, but if you want to just read more, the pricing is $3,000. There's a VIP upgrade option, so you can just read the details about that if you want. Send me a DM if you want the link. We would love to have you join us. Again, spaces are limited, and I also have private mentoring too. So, you know, if you're desiring that one-on-one support, that's available too. This is the work I do. I am sending you so much love. I hope this was beautiful for you. It was beautiful for me. It was beautiful to connect with you. I am sending you love. Have a beautiful day, and I will connect with you soon. Bye.